Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
What up?
What up, everybody? Thank you guys for listening, clicking, liking, and subscribing. We do appreciate that. And if you want to become a patron of the show, you can help us support us by going to patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. That's where all of our cool info is. We haven't had a new patron in a while, so hopefully...
Yeah, what's up with that shit?
Yeah, let's going through the holidays here. Let's get a couple more, okay? It's the giving season. Even if you hop on for a month or two, it's fine. You don't have to. You don't have
Put
to
a new one. Cody takes his shirt off. We'll do it shirtless.
Yeah, I'll fucking whip my dick out if it's for $100. I have very low standards.
That's gonna be on our OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's why I don't do OnlyFans. Oh, here's a fun fact. My OnlyFans account got hacked, and someone tried to buy $300 worth of like OnlyFans credits.
Is that what we're saying, that you got hacked?
Dude. Well, first of all, like, I don't understand what the point of the OnlyFans credit is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a gift card. Why would I buy myself gift cards?
Well, obviously the hacker was trying to buy himself some gift cards.
But it's on my account. He didn't even buy any cool videos or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like...
Oh, he actually... He successfully did it.
He successfully bought $200 worth of OnlyFans
with your
credit
money?
With my money.
Okay.
And then tried to buy another $100 because they were $100 increments. But that one got declined in my thank you credit card for finally being like, hey, maybe this is fraudulent.
He's like, he doesn't beat off that much.
Someone might buy $200, but $300? That seems a little extreme. So, yeah. So I sent them an email, changed my password and everything. And I'm like... I'm surprised that like their infrastructure didn't catch it because like I famously don't do a lot of OnlyFansing. I've spent maybe $20 on there, $30 on there.
A good cause.
Forever.
Trying to get her through college.
Yeah, you know, I guess. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, it was very surprising that they didn't catch that. So hopefully I'll get that money refunded. If not, I'm gonna have $200 that I have to spend.
You know, and I apologize. I wasn't very welcoming. I just assumed it was women or the original.
Oh, yeah, it's for sure women. I mean, you know, at least trans women. You know what I'm saying? At least the top half.
So, I'm assuming Facebook haven't bought them out because they didn't go down, right? With all the fucking Facebook.
Correct.
Went down. What was
Correct.
it? WhatsApp?
Yeah. So, well, it's Facebook, Instagram, and something else that Facebook owns. WhatsApp. Yeah.
Twitter was going strong.
Yeah, Twitter is going strong because they're still separate for the moment, but soon, I'm sure.
I think they did that shit themselves. I find it very fucking interesting when the whistleblower was talking and they said her name, that shit shut down.
Oh, really?
I think that was fucking interesting. Yeah, she was just saying, like, Facebook knows that there's hate speech and that it's harmful, and they don't care because it makes them money.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they don't care.
It's just interesting. Like, everyone knows that. I feel like... Yeah. Everyone knows, like, oh, they don't care about hurting people?
It's so funny when people, you know, there's a bunch of, like, heat and press for someone saying some, like, outlandish shit about a big corporation. You're like, duh, obviously.
Well, she had receipts. That's the thing. Yeah. She had pictures. She had images. Like this.
Do we really need receipts? We know.
No, of course we know, but it's like when the receipts are there, then the website goes down.
Sure.
Interesting.
Of course. It's fine. Whatever.
Fucking Zuckerberg, like, fried up or some shit. His Terminator chip. Gave up on him.
Speaking of Instagram, we posted a little thing about our episode last week, the disappointing games. Remember that one?
Yes.
We actually had quite a few responses, so thank you to all of those who responded. Hopefully this doesn't kill the actual video that's going right now on my phone. But my friend Pat said Cyberpunk, obviously, every Games Workshop video game, which is hella true. Every Warhammer game is a piece of garbage because they sell out to these like small little indie things. Like really,
you still buy the minis.
I know. Well, I mean, and I think that's, you know, that they know what they do well, and what they do well is miniature wargaming. But like the video games, like you could literally put like a Space Marine skin on top of a Gears of War game, and it would be amazing. But they won't do that.
I didn't know there was a Warhammer video games.
There's been quite a few. Yeah. Well, they're terrible. That's why you don't know about them. I think the most popular one is Vermintide and Vermintide 2, which don't even take place in either Warhammer 40K universe or Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe. It takes place in Warhammer Fantasy, which is the the original Warhammer game, which has been a dead game for like 10 years.
Why wouldn't they just team up with Blizzard and just like reskin like StarCraft or something?
That's a good. Well, the reason. So I think I might have mentioned this on one of our episodes. The reason why they don't do that is because that's what they originally did, and that's where Blizzard got World of Warcraft and StarCraft.
Oh, so they did team up with them.
They did team up with them, and then they couldn't work things out, so they split, not so amicably. And then immediately afterwards,
and then Blizzard blew up.
Blizzard's like, hey, we have this other game. One's in fantasy and one's in space, and it's like a strategy game. Yeah, if you look at them, like there's even character designs and stuff are very similar. Like the Terran Marines look almost exactly like Space Marines, and the Zorn, is that one of them? No.
The
Zerg.
The Zerg.
Zerg. I don't play that shit. Zerg.
Fucking amazing game.
Looks like I think they're like a kind of a buggy alien thing, right?
See, I thought it was based
like
off Starship Troopers.
No,
that's what I thought.
No.
Oh, interesting.
No. Maybe Starship Troopers was influenced by them. Who knows? Though that game came out that movie came out, or book came out a long time ago. Yeah. The book was in the 80s?
Yep. Came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, the Warhammers, I think, was late 70s. So
maybe.
Could be. Yeah, so that was one from Pat. Jules said Cyberpunk was too buggy to even play, which I agree. Firewatch was so good, but had a shit ending. So that's a pretty common thing. The Deacons says Mass Effect 3 tops his list. And Mass Effect 3 definitely had a weak ending. It was the weakest of the Mass Effect games for sure. Anthony says Outer Worlds, Cyberpunk, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Didn't Outer Worlds like fucking kill? Didn't that do super well?
I think it did. Well, so did Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's true.
And and legitimately Cyberpunk did too. They sold so many copies of that. My friend David said No Man's Sky, which we mentioned for sure. My friend Joe said Destiny, who I think he's just trying to troll me because I've definitely played Destiny with him. And then Word Buzz, which I think is another podcast, they said Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
I don't even remember that one. I feel like I played most.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one that one was. I know one that like I looked at that I didn't have any interest in playing at all was Resident Evil Mercenaries. Remember that one? It was like a multiplayer Resident Evil.
I didn't play that one.
I didn't give two shits about that. But yeah, thank you guys for responding. We do appreciate that when you guys give us some input. And maybe you'll have some input for today's topic, which today we're going to be talking both about Marvel What If, which just wrapped up the first season, and then Venom, Let There Be Carnage. We have, it's a big Marvel episode, okay? Sorry, when that shit comes out, we have to talk about it.
I'm not sorry.
Sorry,
I love it.
Sorry, not sorry. But before we do that, let's do some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. Christian, lead us off.
Nerdy confession. We love collecting stuff, as you can see here. And I'm moving, and now that shit is a bitch. I fucking hate it. Obviously I'm not going to leave my stuff behind, but just like, it just sucks. Like we want to be careful with everything.
Really makes you consider how important every little collectible is.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck. Like, why'd I buy that? No, I did. It's cool. Like,
fuck you, Funko Pops, with your delicate square boxes that take up so much space.
Yeah, man. It's just honestly, it's just like that's the one time where it fucking sucks is like when you're moving, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Man,
I'm happy to be here right now because I'm not moving shit.
Yeah,
so that's literally where I came from. That's why I fucking haven't shaved and shit. Like,
that's why you look like a homeless person.
I'm like fucking homeless today.
Yeah, I have. I worry about the day that I move because since I've been in this apartment that I've been in, my room is just packed full of shit. And it's just like...
And you really don't know until you're moving that shit out.
Yeah, I've thought about it because like there's days where I'm like, oh, I can move out of here tomorrow. I can't fucking take it. And then I look around, I'm like, oh God. Like that corner of the room, like that would take 3 days to pack up and move all that shit. Like my bookcase is just full of books.
Oh God,
books are so heavy.
That's where I'm stuck right now. Like I boxed a bunch of books from my room and I didn't even move them yet. Like they're still in the other place. And then I still have a whole nother fucking shelf. And then I was like, maybe I can get rid of some of these books. I'm going through. I was like, no, these are all my awesome art. I'm not getting rid of these. Are my awesome art books.
I've done that several times where I'm like, I can get rid of some of these, and I go through it, and I'm like, oh, I can get rid of this, and then like I have some space, and then I just put in that space the books that have been sitting in piles around my room, and I'm like, fuck, it's full again.
Yeah, the ones I did throw away were my graphic novels. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna reread these, and if I do, I can read them digitally. They're not worth money, so I got rid of a bunch of graphic novels. I actually put a bunch out.
Thanks for letting me know, Christian. I could have looked at some of those.
It was Why the Last Man, which I'm pretty sure you've.
Oh fuck! I think I'm missing number 1. Did you have that one?
It's definitely not anymore.
Fuck. I was just.
I'll get it for you.
It's fine. No, I was just. I think I have all of them except for the first one because I think I might have borrowed it from you or something, and then I bought the rest of them myself. And I was like, oh, I started watching. My dirty confession is I started watching Why the Last Man, which I was actually going to talk about.
What the fuck? It's out?
Yeah. Like 7 episodes are out.
What the fuck? I just heard the other day that they were thinking. Well, maybe that a while ago they were thinking about
watched
making
an episode from 2 years ago or some article from 2 years ago. Yeah, no, it's on. I think it's on FX. I watch on Hulu because it's on Hulu all the time. Yeah, there's like 7 episodes, and so far it's really good.
Who's Yorick?
Some unknown dude. Like
I remember originally they were gonna make the movie,
Yep.
and it was right after Transformers, and they had Shia LaBeouf and they had Brandy, who was gonna play the bodyguard, and then Shia LaBeouf.
Wait, Brandy the artist? Like
Yeah.
Moesha?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And then Shia LaBeouf was like, "No, this feels too much like the guy from Transformers. I don't want to do it." And then the whole thing crashed.
No. So that's the Why the Last Man film they were trying to make. Now
Yeah.
This is a series. So Diane Lane plays the president. This guy Ben Schnitzer plays Yorick.
Who plays the monkey?
It's definitely a CG monkey, but it looks good though. I mean, I'm sure they have like a regular monkey for some scenes.
What, the one from fucking Friends was too busy? They couldn't get that one?
That one's probably dead, Christian.
How long do they live?
Not that long. He's just some like 40-year-old monkey, just like, he's smoking a cigarette. And then this lady Ashley Romans plays Agent 355, who she's great. Like I really like her so far. Olivia Thirlby is Hero, which is Yorick's sister.
Who's his girlfriend that he's always like trying to like get to her?
Oh, Beth. That's Juliana Canfield, who I didn't really recognize her.
Have they showed any Amazons?
Yeah, actually, did they
CG one of their titties off?
Yeah, I don't know if it was CG or makeup or what, but yeah, they definitely showed. So I think they toned that part down, which is kind of why I want to reread the series, because I remember the Amazons being more
ruthless,
like literal. Well, they're pretty ruthless in the show, but like literal, like running around tops off, one tit out. This one is like she has she's had breast cancer, so she had the mastectomy kind of thing. And she shows it, and then she talks about, she's like, you've heard of the Amazons, right? Known for their strength and cunning, and they would chop off one of their tits to be
better archers.
Better. Well, she said better to show out their bravery. I'm like, it's not that. It's to be better archers, but that's fine.
Can you imagine doing it like just hits you like that?
Yeah, just fucking whacks your nipple off. Because I used to do archery, and like if you take you're supposed to wear like wrist guard type deals to protect against the bowstring. Because I've had it a couple times where the bowstring gets caught right in the wrist guard. Dude, that fucking sucks. I can only imagine if it's on your tit.
I learned it in summer camp, and every time I see it in movies where someone is holding it like this, like with their pointer and their thumb, it pisses me off. It's like, you're not supposed to do it that way. Yeah. You've never seen that movies you caught it where they're like this? Like, dude, that's not how you hold that shit.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I've seen all sorts of funky things, but yeah, definitely maybe cheaper movies they do that. But a lot of good ones like Legolas, he was always doing a pretty good archer fingers. He always used like the 2 fingers. You use 2 or 3 generally. A lot of the pro like athletes and stuff like the Olympics and stuff. Some of them don't even use their fingers. They use what's called a release, which is a little button thing that clamps onto the string, and then you just hit this little like trigger thing and it releases, so you don't get any
I remember watching
What's it called?
This YouTube video where this guy does like some Hawkeye shit. Like he does some crazy ass shit. I need to send it to you. Like, just if I didn't watch in the video and watch this guy do it, I'm like, I wouldn't have fucking believed it.
Wow. Yeah, there's, and it's crazy. Like there's crazy like archery shooters, gun shooters that you just watch them and you're like I understand they've practiced a long time, right? But there's some things that people do like that you just have to be born with some sort of God-given talent. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way. Like I used to watch like on YouTube like some quick draw videos and stuff. Like there's like I get it, you can practice and get more refined, but there's some people who just have to be able to like fucking think that fast.
There was this one like hillbilly farmer guy I saw. It was like an 80s video that got loaded up to YouTube where this dude was hitting, like the guy interviews like pick a leaf from this plant. And he was just with a slingshot, just ding. He didn't close one eye. He had both eyes open. Just bing. Just like they throw this stuff in the air, pop. Just hit it in the air like right away.
I saw one
hitting bugs that were flying one time.
There's this guy who this like trick shot guy. I think he was shooting for Beretta, and he was shooting shotguns. And he would do this thing where he would take a golf ball and put it on the shotgun like this, like sideways. Because a lot of these trick shooter guys, they'll have these extended magazines that hold like 10 shells in them, right? And so it's like you've got two barrels essentially. One's full of shotgun shells and one's the actual barrel. So you put the golf ball in between them, and he'd go to the camera and point over to the right or over to the left, and he'd flip the golf ball up and shoot it, and the ball would shoot off to the right or to the left depending on what he said.
Oh, so he was ricocheting the fucking.
He was
like a pool ball,
yeah, exactly. He was like spinning it to whichever side he wanted by hitting just the edge of it.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's fucking. He would shoot it upside down, under behind his back. He would take like handfuls of clay targets and just throw them up and just go boom, 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 and they'd all explode before he hits the ground just from throwing them himself.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, so cool. But anyway, none of that has anything to do with Why the Last Man. But yeah, so far it's a good show. They've definitely done a pretty good job of nailing Yorick, the main character. Why, where he's definitely like a shithead. Like he's definitely not the last guy you'd want to be there. He's like, he doesn't want responsibility. He makes all these terrible decisions. But
I just remember in the book being whiny.
Yeah, I mean that's a big part.
He just wanted to get to his girlfriend, and he didn't care about the rest of the world. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like that's a lot of it, and he does like stupid stuff because of it. He's like, oh, I thought I saw her, and then he gets like, Agent 355 has to come down and fucking own like 7 people because he went and followed someone down a dark alley or something. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'd like to, you should watch the episodes that are out and let me know what you think of them. If any of you haven't read the series, it's an excellent graphic novel. Written by Brian K. Vaughan, who also did Kick-Ass and Sock. Well, wait, did he do Kick-Ass? I thought that was Mark Millar.
No, I thought it was him.
Maybe it was the two of them. He did Saga for sure. Brian K. Vaughan did that one for sure.
That one's really good, and I would need to finish it.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, it's a really good show. Everyone should check it out. It's kind of like post-apocalyptic. Essentially, I guess we never really talked about the the whole premise is that one day all men on the planet die. Like their eyes start bleeding and they start coughing up blood.
Boom.
Yeah. No, I said Brian K. Vaughan is of Why the Last Man, but I don't know if he is of Kick-Ass.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it just proved what you said correct.
That's what.
But anyway, yeah, so all men die on the planet, and except for one guy, his name is Yorick, and his monkey.
My bad, you were right. Mark Miller.
Nice. His monkey's name is Ampersand, a little capuchin monkey.
Side nerdy confession, that's what I learned what ampersand was. When I said his name, I was like, the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that? Ampersand.
Oh, the and sign.
The and sign. Yeah, so check it out. It's on Hulu or on FX. I think it comes out on Thursdays, maybe. So maybe there's a new episode tonight. I might have to check that out. Alrighty. Well, that does it for Nerdy Confessions. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Venom and Marvel's What If. So strap in. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so let's talk first about Marvel's What If, which just wrapped up. Episode 9, I think, just came out last week for you guys listening. It was today for us recording this.
In the past.
And so there will be spoilers for this, so caution for that. Also, spoilers for Venom, obviously. We're going to be talking about that later, too. So, we'll kind of
pause button.
We'll let you know exactly when we're going to start talking about each one. But hopefully you guys have seen it by now, so you can enjoy this discussion. So, Marvel's What If. The last episode, the last 2 episodes, we should say, were like 2-parters. It was like a 2-parter.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say these are the only ones that continue off, but a lot of them, I mean, these last 2 were connected to almost all of them.
Right,
so.
Exactly. They were like kind of a culmination. So essentially, like, the one before this was What If Ultron wins, and he basically he gets Vision's body, so Vision is never created. He gets all the Infinity Stones.
Which that part pissed me off.
Yeah.
How easily he took out Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos shows up, laser, dead, split in half. Like, no one thought of that like in the movies.
Wait, why did we have Vision up there trying to get the stupid Infinity Stone out of his head when he could have just lasered Thanos this whole time?
Thanos did nothing with the stones he had. It was that easy.
Now, then again, when he shows up on Earth to kill Vision, to get the stone,
he had all of them but the soul.
He had all of them but the last one. So he was much more powerful. So maybe. But Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was disappointing. There, a lot of stuff like that happens in this. You're like, oh, you could have done this the whole time. But that's kind of the fun of the What If, is like you could really do whatever. Like the zombies episode we talked about. Like how are the zombies supposed to bite through fucking Iron Man's suit?
Yeah.
Right? He should
or the Hulk.
Or the Hulk. Or like any of those super resilient ones, you know what I mean? And it's like that seems silly.
Or the Scarlet Witch just could have like, oh, I'm surrounded, let me just vaporize all of them.
Right, exactly. But anyway, so Ultron gets the Infinity Stones and basically becomes a multidimensional being and fights the Watcher, that was a really cool scene.
That was a really cool scene. Did you notice that now Star Wars is in the Marvel Universe? Mustafar. They fought there for a second.
Oh, did they? Was that one of the planets?
They actually, and someone did a side by side where they showed Vader's
castle.
His castle, and they had it in the.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'll have to watch that again. I figured that some of those planets, like I was supposed to know where they were, but they flash so quickly and they're animated, and that's one thing that's kind of funny about doing an animated show based off of real characters, or like real people, I should say, is that like the things that they focus on to make a caricature of a person are different than what I would focus on, like in this last episode, it was very fresh. So like when they showed Bartok the Leaper, I'm like, oh, that's
they changed him. It wasn't him.
Yeah. Well, I know the voice wasn't him.
No, it was a black guy.
Yeah, I know, but he was obviously supposed to be the same guy, and I'm like, that's not how I saw him at all.
Different multiverse. Or you're saying like
like his facial features and everything, like didn't look anything like him, or Peter Quill for that matter, did not look like Chris Pratt.
Well, we didn't get Star-Lord Peter Quill. We had
but it was supposed to be the same person.
Yeah, but he wasn't working out. He wasn't stealing stuff. He wasn't doing.
Yeah, but that doesn't change his face. Like what I'm saying. Even Agent Carter, like that didn't look as much like Haley Atwell as I thought that was super. Nah, she has the little the thing that I notice about her is she has like the very like British upper lip part.
Go on. What's a British lip? What do you mean?
Yeah, if you.
No, I don't know. I need you to explain that to me.
No, like she's got kind of like the dimples and I don't know. Mm-hmm. You just got to look at her face. I love Haley Atwell, by the way. She's my favorite. But so they focus on different things,
I will say Doctor Strange was spot on.
Doctor Strange looked really well, or looked really good, and
see this British lip you're talking.
Oh my God, like if you look at her and Kate Beckinsale and Posh Spice, they all look the same.
What are you talking
Oh
Are
yeah.
you saying all white women look the same?
No. All British white women.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look, let's look at.
That's why when they mention the Spice Girls, it's all just one same-looking girl.
Yes.
No one knows.
Well, not Scary Spice.
And why she got to be scary? Like,
Yeah, I know. It was a different time back then. You know what I'm saying?
90s were wild.
90s were wild. There's Kate Beckinsale. Look at her fucking lip. See that?
They're full.
But they're also British. Okay. Let's look at what's Posh Spice. Victoria Beckham. That's her name, right? Yeah.
Could have just put.
I threw her in there without thinking about it. She might not look like it. There's a pretty good picture. Very, very pronounced indentation.
I don't know if it's right for you to speak so ill of your bitches.
I'm not speaking ill. They're all beautiful. Like, I'm not saying a bad thing. I'm just saying they
all look the same.
They have a similar feature. It's not bad to look the same if you look hot, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I'd like to look the same as Chris Hemsworth. It's not a bad thing. Anyway, so so we see the Watcher fight Ultron, which is really fun.
That was a cool battle. Honestly, I've never really was a big fan of the Watcher. It's just he just kind of stands there and watches. But
I like the concept of him more than I like him, maybe, because the fact that he's always there, he doesn't intervene unless shit really gets real, you know.
Well, I mean, like the powers that they showed. I mean, he has
the power cosmic.
He was going toe to toe for a while, and then the armor he put on was pretty cool.
Yeah, he got more normal proportioned to offset his big baby head.
Yeah.
And then in the end of that, he's like kind of losing, and he goes to evil Doctor Strange from the Doctor Strange episode, and it's like, hey,
they're calling him the Supreme Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Supreme Doctor Strange,
or Doctor Strange Supreme, one of those.
Whatever. That's when they put sour cream and tomatoes on him, like at Taco Bell.
Exactly. And the little
Supreme Doctor Strange.
The green stuff.
Yeah.
What's it called? What?
Like guac?
No. They're like
cilantro?
onions. Yeah.
Oh, chives.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Green onions or whatever. So he's like, hey, I need your help. And in this last episode, basically, Watu and Doctor Strange go about and they assemble their own multiverse Avengers, also known as the Guardians of the Multiverse, which had Killmonger / Black Panther, right? So Michael B. Jordan as Black Panther.
Which, when he picked him, I'm like, and it gets explained later on, but I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why him? You saw what he did. You watched him do what he did.
He's obviously a bad person. And then they had T'Challa as Star-Lord, who like basically spent the entire time getting his ass kicked, just like normal Star-Lord would, I guess.
Yeah, that's the one time where he wasn't like the suave dude who couldn't do anything wrong.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, he doesn't have Black Panther powers. He just has Star-Lord non-powers.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's that going to do against Ultron? Captain Carter, awesome. Then they had...
Although it was a little bummed she didn't have the sword. I thought that was going to be standard with her.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, she did some cool stuff with the shield and everything. Then they had Party Man Thor, the Viva Las Vegas Thor. That was pretty cool. They had Gamora, who had like the Thanos double sword thing,
which is interesting because I don't remember her having an episode.
I don't remember that either, but I think she may have been in the Star-Lord episode, like because Thanos joined crew with Star-Lord, maybe she had taken on his army or whatever.
I figured it was from Party Thor's universe because like everyone from the MCU was basically in that episode.
Exactly. Who else was in it? I feel like I'm forgetting one or two people.
The Black Widow showed up eventually.
Right. Black Widow from the Ultron's world where he took over. She was like the last person alive on the planet. Which seems crazy that she was the only one left over. I get it.
Non-powered. Actually,
she's resourceful.
I did enjoy that episode where we saw.
At least Hawkeye can shoot stuff. You know what I'm saying?
She has her guns, her Berettas, whatever.
Yeah, who's making the bullets, Christian? Everyone's dead.
Finding them, just like in video games. Like you just randomly find bullets.
Box of ammo.
Just so happens to be the exact that would fit into my pistol.
Exact caliber I needed.
But it was kind of cool to see Black Widow and Hawkeye like on their own solo adventure. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. yeah, anytime you get to see those two interacting together, it's awesome.
Because in the movies, you always hear that they have a history, but you don't really like get that.
Right.
And it kind of sucks. There was one episode, but it was also cool to see it.
Yeah, very cool. And I think that might be it for the people included in that. But anyway, yeah, so they kind of team up.
Did we mention Doctor Strange Supreme?
Doctor Strange Supreme, yeah. Yeah, he Watu went to him first. And then, so, they all team up together and basically fight Ultron. And Doctor Strange Supreme definitely does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. They made Thor into a bumbling buffoon, so definitely not the Thor I would have picked. I would have picked, like, fucking Thunderstrike. Like, when's that parallel universe going to come?
Probably soon, man. Maybe. I think Love and Thunder.
I think Love and Thunder, they kind of pay homage to it because he's got, like, they showed him with, like, a jacket with no sleeves on it, So
someone threw out a theory that that's not our Thor. That's because the multiverse is happening, that's probably the one you're thinking.
That's the one thing that I hate about the multiverse being a thing now, is that people can just throw out the wildest things just because someone's wearing a different jacket. I don't know, man. That might not be our Thor. He's wearing a red jacket. Thor doesn't even wear jackets. He wears armor.
So someone threw out...
Or a cardigan in that one movie. Oh, that can't be our Doctor Strange. He's wearing a hooded sweatshirt. There's no way that Doctor Strange would ever wear a hooded sweatshirt.
That's the one I was going to get to. And some people are thinking that maybe that's the Supreme Doctor Strange.
Like, it could definitely happen, but I think people are grasping at straws on a lot of these things.
And I think that's
I want a little more proof. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's helpful for No Way Home, but also going to possibly damning for them. There's just too many fucking theories going out, and I feel like
it's going to be another one of the WandaVision where everyone's like, "Nah, it's going to be like Mephisto and Madam Web, and Venom's going to show up, and then Venom's going to give the symbiote to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to be evil, but that's not even our Spider-Man. He's from a different multiverse, and this whole thing is happening in a different dimension. The end of the movie is just going to be like, well, sorry, Peter, I can't do anything. I'm Doctor Strange. I can't change time, and then that's the end of the movie. Nothing actually happens."
I know I'm going to enjoy the movie.
I am too.
Yeah. I feel, though, because all these fucking fan theories that are out, a lot of people are going to be disappointed that they didn't get what they thought was going to happen. And I'm scared that that's going to harm the movie, but we'll see.
Right. And I, this will lead right into Venom. And also we should say there is like a little after credit scene in What If where Captain Carter is, did you see it?
No. Oh. Go on.
So Captain Carter gets sent back to her timeline, right? And she has this moment with Watu where she's like, "Can you send me back to, back to where Steve was alive back in the 40s?" And he's like, "Sorry, your time and your world needs you." And so he sends her. She's like, "Okay, I get it." And so she sends her back. And then while she's back, it was the beginning of the Captain America Winter Soldier movie, but with her instead of Captain America. And so when they're on the boat and infiltrating the boat, Black Widow comes up to her and says, "Hey, I found something I think you're going to want to see." And it's this big tank thing with a door on it. And she's like, "What's in it?" She's like, "Not what, who?" And you look inside, and it's the Hydra Stomper suit Captain America that wore, or Steve Rogers wore. And then he's like, "I think there's someone inside it," and it ends. And it was like, oh. Captain America's still alive, or Steve Rogers, I should say. Anyway, I don't remember. I was saying something about
Venom,
but like, oh yeah, no. Well, what I was going to say about Spider-Man. The last thing I'll say about that. Obviously, that movie's coming up pretty soon, so we'll know definitively soon what everything's happening. But due to the and we won't spoil Venom just yet, but due to that end credit scene of Venom, it does tie somewhat into the MCU. And so now we're looking at Spider-Man, and Spider-Man has made all these like not promises necessarily, but teasers, right? We have Doc Ock.
The only ones
for sure.
The only one's confirmed.
One goblin is in it because we saw the pumpkin bomb. There has to be a goblin in it, whether it's his buddy Nate as Hobgoblin, or whether it's actually like William Dafoe or James Franco as Green Goblin.
That guy's not getting any screen time anytime.
Yeah, even Seth Rogen dropped that guy.
Yeah, which is so fucked up, man.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you molest people. So we've seen those two. We've heard Jamie Foxx is in it.
He's actually on IMDb, so I'm assuming it's accurate.
And then we've heard that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it.
Well, Tobey Maguire hasn't been saying shit, but Andrew Garfield is like, I'm not in it. I'm
not in it. Wink at the camera.
You know, he's just like, I know people were like saying I'm in it. I'm not in it. But what I think is interesting, there has been photos of him in the suit,
right? And
then Marvel has gotten him down. So
right, exactly. So there's a lot of these little teasers, and now there's a little teaser for Venom being in it.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, we haven't spoiled too much in it, but there is a teaser at the end of Venom. So now it's like there's so much that has to happen in this Spider-Man movie for all of those things being paid off that I feel like we're not going to get a very satisfying interaction with all of those characters.
Well, I mean, probably, but right? I don't know. I mean, as long as we don't get an Iron Man 3, you know, or
I don't think we will. I think now Marvel has really hit a rhythm where they really do know what's going on. And like, you know, I know we kind of shit on Black Widow when it came out. Black Widow was a decent movie. It was just a weird time to come out and a weird storyline to focus on. But if you didn't focus on that too much, there was some good stuff in there, right? So it's like even their worst movies have redeeming qualities to them.
The only thing for me was Taskmaster, where we won't get into it.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing with this, like this very, you know, this huge undertaking of trying to tie all these Spider-Man universes together is like, how much time are we going to get with these characters? If we have Doc Ock, Green Goblin, what's his face, Electro, probably like it's either Lizard or Venom. I think it's Venom now, based off what we saw. 2 other Spider-Men, right? And then actual Spider-Man. So there's like six people.
Well, supposedly it's gonna be the Sinister Six. So if anything, it should be 6 villains and 3
like
Spider-Men.
Vulture.
Yeah. Vulture, and then they showed the guy who's gonna play the Scorpion. Maybe in this one he gets the suit, but we'll see.
So say it is Sinister Six, like,
and Rhino, I think,
which would be even worse. I think if they added that many characters, I wouldn't be opposed to them starting that in this movie, like at the end of it, like, oh, we should start our own Sinister Six or whatever. You know, that's fine if you have a couple of them, but like, okay, we have 6 big time cameos that are potentially happening in this movie, if not more, right? Aside from Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. And so like, if it's a 2.5 hour movie, which it probably is 220 or something like that, you know, like how much time are we actually going to spend with those people? It's going to be like 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Well, the bigger question for me, and you already hit the spoilers, is Venom is more than likely. I mean, I feel like Venom's basically guaranteed in it. And at the end of the Venom, I mean, are we talking about it officially now?
Yeah, let's talk about Venom.
So at the end of Venom, there you just see basically a background glitch, and then Venom now appears in a different hotel room than where he was originally at.
Right, and J. Jonah Jameson is on the TV talking about Spider-Man.
Saying, yeah, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And then Venom gets up, and I don't remember what he said. He said something.
He said something like, this guy, and then he licks the screen.
I was like, so, okay, this Venom has history with at least the suit. Maybe. We can't say Tom Holland, but
yeah.
So to explain why Venom, that character, knows that Peter Parker, I feel like that alone is a whole movie, let alone a part of the movie with other casts. Like it's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah, I don't think Venom. I think he might make a brief cameo in this movie. I don't think we're gonna get a full story with him. I think, you know, my prediction.
He's either gonna help or attack.
Yeah, my prediction on this thing is that, you know, Doctor Strange is going to like lose control of the spell, and they're going to zip through a bunch of different universes and constantly trying to find the right one. And it's going to take like one little incident for them to try to figure out, hey, is this my universe or is it not? Right? Venom's going to be in one. Doc Ock's going to be in one, and maybe Green Goblin. Or that's why I think maybe like his buddy might be Hobgoblin, because then that could be an alternate universe. Because Green Goblin and Doc Ock were in the same universe, right? So Doc Ock's in one, Venom's in another one, and and then Hobgoblin maybe is another one, and then you get to see the two other Spider-Men in their
so
respective.
there's Sandman, there's
Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin,
all in the same,
and Venom for that matter.
Well, yeah, a different Venom than we know.
A different Venom than we know, right? So that was all in the Sam Raimi verse, right? So I don't know. There's just a lot that has to happen in that movie for it to be this huge, like, oh my God, it's him with all of the Spider-Man. Like, that could be one movie each. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm trying to temper myself so I'm not super disappointed when it comes out. But who knows? Let's talk about Venom, the actual movie, aside from its impact on the MCU.
You know, that fucking video you sent me ruined Venom. Let there be carnage. That fucking guy.
Ryan George, the pitch meeting. If you guys have not seen it, it's fantastic. It's
make sure and watch us, but don't you? Go watch.
Once you're done with this, go watch,
and then
one.
come back and watch previous episodes.
And then watch this one again.
But no, he has this fucking way of just
pointing out the glaring mistakes
and just like ruining a movie. Because I watched Carnage and it was okay. I mean,
that's kind of my opinion on it. But
it's doing really well in ratings with other people. So I don't know what I didn't see that they saw, but it was okay. But that video just fucking pointed out. I think like in the back of my mind, I was like, it's okay. And I think the back of my mind I was thinking of the points that didn't make sense. And then when he points it out, it's just like you can't unsee it.
Right. Right. So essentially, picks up Eddie Brock from the last one, and he's interviewing Cletus Cassidy, right? Is that his name?
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah. I think it's Cletus Cassidy is Carnage's name. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson does a great crazy person. You know what I mean? He's all over the place. He's fucking, he's licking different stuff all the time. That's a cool crazy person thing to do.
I was a little bummed out they switched his wig. I like the stupid curly hair one he had.
Every haircut he's had since the teaser trailer or the after credit scene we saw last time to this movie to when he cuts his hair in this movie, they're all fucking crazy. Like, we understand Woody Harrelson's bald, okay? It's fine. Like, you don't have to hide it.
But it's like the first one he had, the goofy curly.
It was all curly.
And it was with original.
It looked like doll's hair.
It's what was in the comic. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. I wish they would have kept it.
With the amount of money they pour into these movies, they couldn't get a fucking better wig. Like, just chop off some redhead's actual hair. Don't use doll hair. Anyway.
It's just like Chucky's, one of Chucky's rejects' hair.
It was like a Raggedy Ann doll. That's what he looked like. He plays a good crazy person for sure. But kind of the problem with introducing that character is like they introduce him and then they introduce Shriek, which is like his girlfriend. And, we're supposed to have to kind of figure out their whole story previously. Then we're told kind of about how bad of a person Cassidy is. And
which I'm not too sure, other than his grandma and his mom, did he murder any other people? Because in the comics he was a fucking serial killer.
Well, no, that was part of the thing. The conflict between him and Eddie Brock was that he was like, hey Eddie, if you print this thing for my girlfriend to see in the paper, I will tell you my life story. And Eddie's like, ooh, maybe I'll find out where all the bodies are hidden. So he's kind of like one of those like Ted Bundy types where we know about some of the bodies, but we don't know where all of them are. We know that he's involved, and so that, and then he, Venom, the symbiote, sees the drawings in his cell, which leads them to find a couple bodies or something.
Which also, for people who don't read the comics, the symbiote you see in these movies and what they can do is nothing what they do in the fucking comics.
The worst part is when freaking Carnage hacks into a computer.
It's like, that's not what they do.
I was like, what? That would fuck the computer up. He's goo. He's a gooey symbiote, I was, oh my God. And then like, I thought it was interesting, making him control his arms and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of an interesting take, and I could see that happening.
Sure.
Right? The photographic memory, though, is a little like, seems a little interesting. I don't know about that. And then, hacking computers was, oh my God, so stupid.
Now, and then when like Eddie and Venom get into a fight because like they both think that the other one ruined the other one's life and they both suck, and like Venom goes out into the world and is just going around, hopping around different people, I guess, trying to figure himself out. But like that to me, the speech he was giving at the club, I think it was
like an underground rave or something.
Yeah, it was just super cringy. Like, it didn't make any sense. At least it didn't make any sense to me. And I was just like, what did this add to the story, really? Like, I don't.
I think they were. I mean, I think because one thing we should say about this movie is that they tried to make it a fucking joke a minute, right? Yeah. Which, like, don't get me wrong, there's always been a little humor in some of that stuff with Venom, like once he became his own character, but he was never a Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was never like Mr. Jokesy Jokester, and the symbiote's like, oh, fucking, I love Sonny and Cher the chickens, the chickens that the symbiote named Sonny and Cher. Like, it was never like that in the, at least from what comics I read with Venom included. And so what they were trying to do is, like, he's at this party in San Francisco where, there's a lot of, like, weird kinky clothing and stuff. And he's, like, basically saying, like, he's coming out and being, like, Eddie never accepted him for who he was. And now I don't care what he thinks. I'm going to be who I am now. And, like, it's like, oh, he's coming out at this Halloween party or whatever. And I was like, I mean, I think I see the joke they're trying to make, but it was just like, it didn't make any sense.
I don't know.
It was just,
although I do love Andy Serkis, who directed the movie. So
Andy Serkis, Golem, or Caesar from Planet of the Apes directed this one, or Claw from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's kind of interesting that one of the characters from the MCU is now directing a Sony movie. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like about the movie. There was some stuff that I liked. I thought the action was cool, and, like, some of the jokes were funny. Like, the chickens thing was hilarious because, essentially Venom, he needs to eat brains to, like, nourish himself. The chemical he needs is only found in chocolate and brains, which is why he's always talking about chocolate and brains. And so, like, Eddie Brock's trying to feed him chickens to keep him satiated, right? And, so he gets these two chickens and he names them Sonny and Cher, and he doesn't want to eat them because he's named them. And so, like, some of that stuff was fun. But there, even before I saw that pitch meeting video, there was just a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense to me. Like, for instance, Carnage, Woody Harrelson, was like, hey, print this thing for my girlfriend in the newspaper and I'll tell you my life story. So Eddie Brock, who...
He did print what he wanted.
He did. But he remember, in the last one, he had kind of, like, lost some of his newspaper reporting mojo. He wasn't, like... I think he had lost his job, or he was trying to get his job back. His life wasn't going well, and that was kind of part of the point, right? And so in this one, you're telling me that whatever newspaper he submitted this to agreed to print a huge front page thing that just says whatever cryptic shit he was trying to say on the front page, but he didn't have any story yet from Carnage, from the Cletus Cassidy, I mean, like, they didn't say, but I'm sure you could say, like, hey, if you guys print this, he's going to give me his whole life story. So, like, then I was like, all right, but if you do it, it's exclusively through us. Yeah, I mean, I guess. It just seems fucking weird. Also, he goes and he finds the one body, like, from looking at the drawings in Cassidy's room, he finds a body, which that convinces them to give him the death penalty. Like, they knew... I thought they said that they found, like, 7 bodies or something like that. It doesn't matter. They knew he was a serial killer. He was in jail already. And he's like, oh, he's one of these notorious serial killers. Why did finding these ones make it seem like, oh, now we got to murder it. We got to execute this guy. And then that made Cassidy mad at Eddie Brock. It's like, dude, you were going to tell him your whole story anyway. I don't understand that whole conflict. I mean, what did serial killers like? Control, right? Maybe he's like, all right, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I wasn't in control of it. I don't know. He just wanted him to be his friend, Yeah, towards the end. I just wanted you to be my friend. So stupid. And then like, a lot of the stuff that I wanted to know more about was left out of the movie. So Cletus bites Eddie and gets some of the symbiote in his mouth, and that's how Carnage is born. that is never explained, like any part of it, by Venom or by Carnage. Like there's no explanation for it at all. You're telling me no one else has ever done that? Has ever like gotten some of the venom in its mouth?
Well, also, I mean,
he punches people in the face all the time.
Also, I mean, they didn't really explain why Carnage wanted to kill Venom.
Also that.
Just that he did. He just wanted to.
Yeah. And also, like, when Venom says, ooh, he's a red one, this is bad. Like, obviously there's some sort of hierarchy in the colors of symbiotes. And I would have liked to learn more about that. None of that is ever explained because they're too busy doing, like, fucking jokes and shit, you know? It was so frustrating to watch all that. That being said, I will say a lot of the action was better in this movie than I thought in the first one. Remember in the first one, they had that stupid motorcycle chase?
Yeah.
Where, like...
Venom was doing everything?
Venom was doing everything, and he was, like, grabbing the motorcycle and pulling him back down in the air, and it just looked shitty the whole time. And also, they were, you know, because we live in San Francisco, they were just driving around in the same, like, 4 blocks over and over and over.
We knew that. I was like, that street doesn't lead to that street. Like, they wouldn't take you there.
Well, not even that. You like, I was looking in the background, and you keep seeing the same convenience store go by. I'm like, they're just driving around in circles.
Not a place in San Francisco. There's not a lot of, you know, space in San Francisco.
Yeah, I know. It's expensive to, you know, block off different corners and stuff. But yeah. So, I mean... I guess go see it if you want. I would wait till it comes out on like Apple TV or something. Honestly,
it was on the
like a rental or something.
It was the mid credit that just made it. You know.
Well, I mean, it was the only credit scene, right? There wasn't one all the way at the end. It happens like halfway through the credits.
But that's really what you know.
That was the important part of this movie.
That's it.
That was really it. Yep. So I'm interested to see, you know, if they pull him into the MCU, which it sounds like they're going to. But again, we talked about this before with the last Venom movie, is that if they were going to do this the whole time, which maybe they weren't, maybe Sony finally caved and like
I'm assuming that's right. I don't think that was their intention the whole time.
Right.
I'm assuming they're like, oh shit, Marvel's doing the multiverse. Oh shit, it's doing really well. Let's just, because how long would that have taken to shoot? Not long at all. That's true. Because it could have been a tagged on thing. That they're like, this movie we made is not good. Maybe we should listen to Marvel and actually just give them this. Like, hey Marvel, you know what you've been trying to do for a while?
Hey, I know we've been fighting about Spider-Man, and you know, even though I don't want to say that we were wrong in our position,
let's not point any fingers.
We don't want to point any fingers, but you know, we've considered it and. You've made some valid points. And so now, you know, now they're letting him come into the cinematic universe. But the thing is, again, Venom's character, his entire character is based as a foil of Spider-Man.
Yep.
What happens if Spider-Man is given all this amazing power, but it turns him away from being good guy Peter Parker? And then what if that same power is just given to a guy who's not necessarily a good person? Which Eddie Brock was always supposed to be kind of a piece of shit.
He wasn't.
He was kind of a piece of shit.
He was.
He's not an evil guy.
He's not an evil guy.
He's a piece of shit. You know, we all know those people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still friends with some of them. You know, you just do a podcast with one of them. Yeah, you know, he's not an evil guy, but he is not a outstandingly good guy like Peter Parker is, right? And so what happens if that power, you know, which comes with great responsibility, is given to someone who abuses it? And that's like Venom's character, you know? Spider-Man could rip people's heads off and stab people and kill people all the time, but he doesn't because he's Peter Parker.
He doesn't even hit people as hard as he can.
Right, exactly. He holds back so he doesn't like murder people because he would cuss everyone. And Venom doesn't do that. He doesn't hold back. And so the fact that they're now tagging this into the Spider-Man universe separately, like, what's the point? Are we going to get a black suit Spider-Man? Maybe that's going to be the arc of it, is he's going to, like,
although I do feel
Venom's going to want to leave. Oh,
watching the trailer, I do feel like when it's Tom Holland running through school, it looks like he's wearing a black suit. So
Yep.
I'm wondering if that was the the Night Monkey suit or whatever,
Night Monkey, yeah.
or if it's him with the Venom.
I don't know. I feel, dude, if they wedged the black suit storyline into that movie and spend like 5-6 minutes on it, I'm going to be so pissed. It's like one of my favorite Spider-Man arcs of all time. I forgot to mention this. Other things that I wanted to know more about in the Venom movie that they just breezed over. At the end, when they're battling and stuff, Venom or Eddie's like, Venom, look, they're not symbiotic. They're fighting each other. So like Cletus and
I honestly
and the Red
thought that was going to be how they were going to win, which would have been cool.
100% Christian. like the fact that Eddie and Venom had come to this understanding of each other. They've truly become symbiotes of each other. Meant that they were stronger together than this ultimately stronger symbiote and this weaker serial killer who were at odds with each other, right? Like, it would have been so cool if they if that was the moral of the story, is that because they're stronger together, that's how they beat them.
Honestly,
but not really.
Honestly, that's what I thought it was going to go, and I thought they were going to say, like, look, Carnage wants to kill your wife because she can screech and is like, and then like, and then
use the mental game.
Yeah, that's what puts the wedge. And then when Venom turns and looks at her, I'm like, oh, that's what he's gonna do. Bloop! He knocks her off the fucking building, which causes her to fall. And then she screeches and both of them come apart. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's not exactly what we were thinking.
But he just pushed her off.
Again, we forgot to mention that Shriek's whole ability is like the anti-symbiote ability. And like they use it a little bit, but they don't, you don't convince her that Carnage is a bad guy and use her power against him. It's just always by accident. What a mess. Again, funny jokes, good action, but it's just not, it's not Marvel caliber writing. You know what I mean? I think that's what it comes down to. And I think Andy Serkis did a good job directing most of it. You know what I mean? Like the movie that was written, like, I feel like it was well directed. It just wasn't well written.
I think I saw in the credits that Tom
Hardy.
Yeah, I think he actually helped write it.
He did help write it, and he should not be allowed to do that. I mean, if you're trying to make a buddy comedy, for sure. But I don't know. That's just not what I wanted. It's fine. Let us know what you thought down in the comments. What did you think of What If, and what did you think of Venom? And what does it mean for the MCU?
Are we wrong? Our opinion's wrong? Tell us.
Yeah.
Did you see something we didn't see?
Yeah. It was, some of it was just frustrating. It's fine. I think that's kind of my opinion of both Venom movies now, is they're fine.
How was it? It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
it's not exactly what you want to hear.
I saw it in the middle of the day, so it only cost $7. So that was nice. You know, if I had paid $20 for like IMAX, weekend prices, I would be a little upset. But it's fine.
It was a $7 movie.
It sure was. I wish I had owned it for $7, but seeing it one time, I guess I'm okay with that. But let us know. We do like hearing from you guys. We appreciate all the feedback. And thank you to all the guys who reached out for the video game episode last week. We do appreciate that as well. We'll post some sort of survey question for this one when this comes out as well. You can check out all of our information at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. That's where all of our social medias and all that good stuff is. And you can support the show by going to patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. Thank you to all of the patrons who already support us. We do appreciate you. Here's your names. Hey, your name could be right there. Make sure you become a patron. We'd appreciate it. Christian, thanks for making me see that movie with like no notice. You're like, hey, you got to see this before we record. I'm like, fuck,
dude.
I had to go to the movies by myself.
Oh, I hate that.
I felt so lonely. It was nice though. There was like 2 other people in the whole theater. It was great.
Nice. Oh, there you go.
And it was only $7 because I went in the middle of the day. I played hooky from work, so
nice.
Not terrible, but that's whatever. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you. Good night.